Hello everybody, hope you're safe and well. Happy Black Friday. Oh my goodness, I don't know about you, but has your inbox been absolutely flooded with Black Friday offers today? Mine has. Anyway, I've got some to share with you. Yes, for Liz Earle Wellbeing. I thought, why not? Black Friday. Lots of good things to share, and I've also got my Christmas cake to stir up. So I mentioned that before, so I'll be talking through that as well, getting ready to feel just a little bit festive. Hi Paula, hi Devon Creator, hi Justine, hi Lila. Lovely to have you with me. Hi Beach Girl. Oh my goodness, so many. Patsy, Annie, great to have your company here this Friday. I hope you're sitting comfortably. Then we shall begin. Let me get our friends on Facebook. Hopefully this will work with Facebook. There we go. See if Facebook are there. Let me do this. Hi Facebook, hi everybody, hi Facebook, hi YouTube. I hope that everybody is safe and well. Am I the right way round on Facebook? Because it didn't seem to be playing again as I went live. Let me see, I have to read your comments this way round. Am I the right way round? Please tell me. If not, I shall. Hi, Betty. You with me today on Facebook? That's nice. Betty from my digital team. So thank you very much for manning Facebook. How are we doing? I am sideways. Am I okay? I think I'm going to have to twist this way. There we go. Bear with me. Bear with me. Thanks, Andrea. Thank you for letting me know. There we go. Hi, everybody joining on Instagram. Very nice to have you with me. Now, I think I can just tilt my Facebook one down a little bit so you don't see so much ceiling, and hopefully you can see a bit of what I'm doing here, because as I mentioned on my live on Wednesday when I was up in my studios, I'm going to be mixing up the Christmas cake. So if you've got your recipe handy, maybe you've got a traditional family one, I don't know whether you're doing it this Sunday. I think technically last Sunday was actually officially Stir Up Sunday, because it is usually the last Sunday before Advent, but because of the way the calendar works this year, for me personally, I always do Stir Up Sunday in the last Sunday of November, which of course is this Sunday. So anyway, whichever it was, there's still plenty of time to make Christmas puddings, Christmas cakes, all of that. So my recipe is a traditional family one. It's actually my former grandmother-in-law, if there is such a thing. And it comes from the Healthy Happy Christmas download. And I call it Lala's Christmas Cake because that was her name. And it's a recipe that's been passed down the generations. It's really simple. I've enriched it. I have actually tweaked it a little bit. I use lots of nuts. I really like using almonds in mine, and of course lots of dried fruit. And so what I was doing these last few days is I was actually pre-soaking my fruit. So I've got here the dried fruit. So I've got raisins, currants and sultanas. And I've soaked them overnight, so you can see, hopefully, these raisins and currants, which are usually quite dry, have just really plumped up, beautifully plumped up, so they're really moist, and that really helps, I think, with the richness of the cake. If you can, just soak it overnight. So I used, for my soaking mixture, I used some just black Earl Grey tea, because I just think that gives it a really nice flavour. So I've got some of my Earl Grey tea here left over. You might want to add a bit more just to get things really plumped up. It's entirely up to you, because obviously you drain it off anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it doesn't all soak it up. And then I also used a splash of sherry. I didn't have any brandy to hand. Normally I use brandy, but you can use sherry, or you could use ginger wine. You could use anything really, just to give it that little bit of extra. And then of course, once the cake's been made, you can feed it with brandy. So I'm going to be feeding mine over the next few weeks. Just a quick chat here. I've noticed some comments coming on about the Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine subscription, because there is, you're absolutely right, a really special offer. Now, this is something that we don't do very often, but we have taken 30% off for subscriptions. So this is the lovely magazine, which is of course only available on subscription at the moment. So it is slightly different. You need to use a special code, and it's only for the next few days. It's BF20, Black Friday 20. And if you go onto the Liz Earle Wellbeing website, I know, Betty, you'll pop a link on Facebook. There'll also be a link on Linktree, obviously in my bio for Instagram. then you just, when it goes to where it says buy the magazine, if you just click on that, it brings up the subscription page, and right at the top, the very first thing you'll see is promotion code box. So just put BF20 into that, and it takes the price right down. It's lovely. It's magic, isn't it? When you put those codes in and then you just click and it goes, oh, it's so much cheaper. That's so brilliant. Now, I know many of you will already be subscribers, which is lovely. We really heart our lovely magazine subscribing family. So this is, I guess, for those who haven't subscribed, or maybe if you are renewing, then of course you can start your subscription a little bit later in the year. You don't have to start with this issue. You can start with one next spring, for example. But also it's really, I guess, as an idea to share the love. It's about giving gift subscriptions, because it's just such a lovely present to give all year round. You know, we do 6 issues a year, every other month. And it just means that every 8 weeks or so, whoever you're sending it to gets the joy of unwrapping a beautiful new magazine, and you just giving wellbeing treats the whole year. So I think it's a great gift. It's a great offer. It's only available until midnight on Monday. So it's live now. You don't need to rush off and get it, because there are lots of them. So don't worry, the offer will stand. If you're watching this later on catch up, it will stand until midnight, the stroke of midnight, or possibly 11:59 maybe on Monday. Anyway, so that is the subscription offer. So yes, do grab that while you can. Thank you for all the hearts. Hi, Tanya. That's really great to see. I'm just so pleased that you are loving it all. So, yes, what have you just said here? Trisha, I've just ordered a copy of your Christmas magazine for my sister to share the love. That's so great. Hope she loves it too. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing a bit of well-being, wisdom, some treats, some nice recipes, just good stuff. Positivity. That's what we are here. Positive vibes only. I feel like hanging out a little door sign saying positive vibes. Anyway, let me crack on. We've also got special offers on the yearbooks and the Good Menopause Guide books, 20% off everything there. You don't need to enter a code. That's just on the Liz Earle Wellbeing website, and some other savings as well, which I'll come on to in a moment. But let's do cake. Loving the cake. So I've got my recipe here. I'm just going to check that I don't go off-piste, because I do sometimes. So what I've done is I've got my fruit here, which is soaked. So that is all ready to go. And then I'm going to use the flour as a mixture. It's always nice to stir things up with friends and family, isn't it? Maybe you can't this year. Maybe you have to do it on your own, but you can do it virtually. I remember when my eldest daughter, I think it was Lily, when she was first at uni, and we were doing Stir Up Sunday at home, and she couldn't be there, so we just got her on a screen. She was on, I don't think it was Zoom back then. I think it was probably FaceTime or something. And she had a wooden spoon in her hand in her digs where she was at uni, and she just sort of leant through the screen like that to stir it and make a wish. So I should be making a wish in a minute. So I've got in here 275 grams of self-raising flour. Now, if you want a gluten-free version, of course, you could use a gluten-free flour, use your favourite. Might be a little bit heavier, but hey, you know, if you want to be gluten-free, that's absolutely fine. Or you could use spelt flour. Spelt flour is really good. If you haven't got the self-raising kind, just add in a little bit of baking powder to help it rise. So I've got my flour in here, and then I'm going to put in the spices, salt and the sugar. So I have got here, let me add the spices first. I'm going to use mixed spice, and according to the recipe, it is it says 2 tablespoons of mixed spice. Yeah, that is a lot of mixed spice, isn't it? I've only got teaspoons here. I do a really big, generous. That's going to take up most of my, there we go, tip it all in. Lovely, really nice, spicy. I remember my grandmother was just such a fan of spice cake. So the spices are in there, and I have, what else have I got to put in there? I've got the salt, and what else does it say? Sorry, reading the recipe while I go. I need to make sure it's right, obviously. And the sugar. So I've got the sugar here. Let me grab a little pinch of salt. And I'm going to use, for this, dark muscovado sugar, just because it, again, adds to the richness. I think with Christmas cake and Christmas pudding, it's all about making it kind of dark and rich and treacly and just delicious, isn't it? So I've got my dark muscovado sugar in there, and I'm sure you've got your own recipes, or you can have a look. Actually, didn't check first thing, but I'm pretty sure that the recipe is on the homepage now of Liz Earle Wellbeing, so you can go there if you want to on the website and grab it. So this is the muscovado sugar, which is going in. And then you want to pop in your butter as well. Now, if you want to be dairy-free, my goodness, so many different options these days, aren't there? You could use olive oil. That would be fine because you just want to have that kind of that fat content. But I just think it's so good to have a bit of butter. Who listened to Miguel, who's the creative scientist and microbiome expert? I podcasted with him and that went live on Wednesday. And he was talking about butyric acid being really good for the brain and the gut connection. And of course, that is found in butter. So another good reason to get your toast with butter on it or whatever, or use butter in your cooking. So I've got my butter here. It's been softened. So hopefully that will rub in quite easily and quite well. Might be, actually, I have got very clean hands, but it might mean that while I sit here, I'm going to have to just crumb this all in together and rub it all together. What are we getting? Questions here. Hi. Yeah, lots of people doing decluttering. Oh, I agree. I'm turning out my cupboards at the moment. I guess in anticipation of Christmas too. If you're anything like me, I squirrel away stuff during the year that I think, well, that would be nice for somebody. And then so often I forget that I've done it. So it's actually really good to get the cupboards turned out and find all sorts of interesting things that I put away. You know, I'll often buy things in the January sales, for example, and then think, well, that would be good for, you know, somebody for next year. One of the things that I also tend to do is stock up on charity Christmas cards, and sometimes, you know, I'll get those in the sales as well. If you have yet to do your Christmas cards, don't forget that I've got some on my charity, which is Live Twice, livetwice.org. And oh, this is very satisfying sitting here doing this. And there's the packs of Christmas cards with this really lovely little heart-shaped dove carrying a little bit of mistletoe in his beak, and it says peace on earth. And those, I think we've got packs of 6s, and if you get 4 packs, then we pop an extra one in free. Okay, so you pay for 4 and you get an extra one just as a little gift. And it doesn't say that on the website, so this is just something that I've done just for our community here. So don't worry if it doesn't say that on the website. We will put 5 packs in the post if you order 4. So I'm going to be doing, I might start my Christmas cards actually this weekend. Might start with my overseas ones, certainly. Such a great way to keep in touch with people, isn't it? Now, of course, what I'm going to have to do now, having crumbed all this together, is I'm going to have to go and rinse my hands. So if you don't mind just talking amongst yourselves for a moment, I will be back with you momentarily. I should have done this right next to the sink, shouldn't I? But I am here and I will carry on. So if anybody is joining new, I haven't disappeared altogether. Let me grab my soap and give my hands an extra wash. Coming back to you. I am on my way back. Here I am. Okay, so I've got my sugar and my flour and my butter and my spices, and then I think it's time. Of course, you could use a mixer. You know, you don't have to use your hands. Then I'm going to add the fruits and the nuts. Okay, so that's my fruit is going in there now. Lots of fruit. I think I've got, is it 500 grams of raisins? Yeah, 500 grams of raisins, 110 of currants and 110 of sultanas. And then I'm also going to use some chopped glacé cherries. Love cherries in a fruit cake. Who else loves cherries? Oh my goodness, cherry cake. That's another really good recipe, isn't it? So mix that all up together. I mean, you can see how rich this is going to be. It's really good stuff. So I've used the naturally coloured cherries. So you see they're sort of slightly darker. They're not that kind of synthetic, bright pink looking cherries. So these are just widely available from supermarkets. So those are going to go in, and then I'm going to add, I think the eggs go in next. Oh, I tell you what goes in next. Next is the marmalade. Yeah, this was a great addition. So I've got some homemade marmalade. So if you can, use the dark marmalade, so like a Seville orange marmalade. Again, it's all about keeping it dark and sticky. Oh, the smell. I can smell the sherry actually coming up from that. Really good. So where is my marmalade? Here's my marmalade here. Got a jar of homemade marmalade. And this calls for a tablespoon of marmalade. So again, it's giving that kind of citrusy flavour. I suppose it's instead of using peel. I mean, you could use chopped peel if you want to, if you didn't want to add marmalade. I know in years gone by when I haven't had any marmalade to hand, I've used things like plum jam. That would also work really well with this. So you want to give this a really good stir. I'm not actually going to put this in the tin just yet. I'm going to keep it because I'm going to let the kids stir it when they're back a bit later. Stir it and make a wish. So that's all going to get stirred together. And then you're going to put your eggs in. Pretty sure eggs go in next. Yeah, eggs and the milk. So I've got in here, I've got 3 eggs, which I've cracked already. Let me get my fork. There we go, give those, just beat those up. And I'm going to use milk. I use whole milk, but again, you know, you could use a milk alternative if you wanted, or a lactose-free milk if you wanted it to be a lactose-free cake. So many options these days, aren't they? Just, you know, it's just clever substitutions, really. So you're going to stir the, this is all the sort of the liquidy bits in, I guess. So that's the eggs. And then the milk, I have got 50 mils of whole milk. Oh, so good. So good. I am looking forward to eating this. I just love fruitcake, rich fruitcake. Rich fruitcake and a cup of Earl Grey tea on a Sunday afternoon. Honestly, that is my idea of a good time. Simple pleasures, easily pleased. Right, I'm going to add the milk. So again, it's just keeping it really moist. And yeah, it's just stirring up so well. That's a really nice consistency. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. Stirred up my Christmas cake. That's a first for me, a live Christmas cake stirring. There we go. Don't forget to share your pictures if you do make it. What I'll be doing when I've made it is I will, after it's cooled, I'll tip it out and then tip it upside down, because what you can do then is you can feed it. So you just pierce the top of it with a metal skewer or a fork, and then if you want to, you can feed it. You know, just drizzle in a little teaspoon of brandy every now and then, so it soaks up over the coming weeks before the big day. There we go. Look at that. Yum! How delicious. Right, oh, I tell you what I forgot to do. I forgot the nuts. There you go. These are my nuts. So chopped almonds, that's fine. You can throw those in. Oops. Now, I know the recipe says blanched almonds. I guess maybe that's an old-fashioned thing. I actually like using the almonds with their skins. So if you can see on here, I've just chopped them up, you know, skins and all, because again, it's giving you a bit more fibre. It's giving a bit more of that lovely prebiotic goodness, good for your gut bugs. And I love almonds, you know, I use them in so many things. High in protein, lots of vitamin E. Again, you've got the fibre goodness as well going in there. So just stir those all in. I hope I haven't forgotten anything else. I think that's about it, isn't it? There we are. Look. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Right. Christmas cake. Almost made. So what else have we got to make? Well, one of the other things that we've been doing here at Liz Earle Wellbeing, which you may have seen, is we've been doing some collaborations really with companies that I really like to put together wellbeing boxes. And obviously I talk a lot about gut health. I talk a lot about fermented foods. You know me, I bang on about kefir. I had my kefir this morning. I put it on my stories. And of course, making your own is just so much cheaper and so much easier. It means that you never run out. And we worked with a company called Freshly Fermented, and we put together a Liz Earle Wellbeing box, a gut health box. So we launched it in the last issue of the magazine. And we've put a link up. I think, Betty, you can do a little link, can't you, on Facebook? And there'll be a link on Instagram in my bio for all of that. And we've done a special saving on it. So if you want, again, it's a Black Friday deal. So the Black Friday deal is when you go to click through to buy it, if you want to buy it, you need to put the code in, which is BF, Black Friday, BF 2020. Okay, all the details will be online as well. But BF 2020, and that gives you, I think it's 20% off. Okay, so it's really worth grabbing. Now, what you get in the box is you get one of your scobies if you want to make kombucha. It's a really fun thing to have for Christmas. So you get one of your scobies so that you can ferment that. You get the starter for yogurt. So if you want to make your own plain live yogurt, and this is something that I do now all the time because it's much cheaper than buying commercial yogurt. It's more sustainable, environmentally friendly because you're not buying endless single-use plastic pots, because you can make it in little glass jars like that, or you can use recycled pots if you want to. And it tastes really good. So the two options in the gut box. For the yogurt, you can either go for the Bulgarian starter yogurt. I think I've got that one here. Or you can go for the Vili. Actually, this is the sachet of the Vili. Okay. Now, the difference between the two starters depends on the type of yogurt that you would like. So the Bulgarian yogurt, we've had amazing reviews. Do let me know if you've made the Bulgarian yogurt, because it's really thick. Often homemade yogurt's a bit thin, but the Bulgarian one provides a really thick, it's a very special strain of yogurt bacteria. But it does need to be warm, so you need a yogurt maker, or you need to be able to put it somewhere really warm, like an airing cupboard or boiler cupboard or on top of a radiator, somewhere like that. So if you don't want to do that, if you want to make a cold yogurt, then the Vili, which is this one that I've got here, which I haven't yet used. So the Vili starter culture makes a very thin yogurt. So that's more of a pouring yogurt. So if you want a yogurt that you can add into smoothies or pour onto granola, or just pour over berries, that kind of thing, a bit like a single cream, then that's the one to go for. So that's the only choice that you have in the box. You also get your little organic turmeric bug starter, and that's what this one is here. I hope you can see, if I pop some on a spoon. This makes a turmeric gut bug drink. It's really fun. It's a little bit like a kind of ginger beer plant. That's what it looks like. And it makes a really good non-alcoholic turmeric drink. It's tasty. It's really good. My youngest, who's only 10 and a bit picky, like 10-year-old boys can be, much rather sit with a can of Coke than something else. And he loves this. So this is a really, really good one. And once you've made it, then you can keep the starter culture. You can keep it going. Like with everything in the fermented box, once you've got your really good quality starters, like your scobies, like your yogurt, if you want to make yogurt again, you just keep a little bit of the yogurt that you've made. That then becomes your starter culture for your next batch. So you get your yogurt, your SCOBY, your turmeric gut bug. You get a starter culture for creme fraiche, which is, again, a really good thing to have as an alternative to cream, because it's just like fermented, so you're getting good gut bugs, so you can have it on your mince pies or Christmas pudding or whatever you like, but apple crumble, yummy. And then you also get, of course, kefir grains, and we put two different types of kefir grain into the box. One is a milk kefir, and the other one is a water kefir. So the water kefir gives you a probiotic drink, and then the milk one obviously gives you your traditional creamy kefir. And again, you can keep the grains. It just goes on and on and on. Now, a couple of questions about whether you can keep it. So if you want it for you now, absolutely, just order it as normal. If you're giving it as a gift, or you're sending it to somebody, because obviously you can have it posted any way you like, then you need to order. Let me just check on the date. You need to put a note in the order line just to say that you are going to be giving it as a gift, and they send it out a little bit later. Whoops, just so it keeps. What does it say? Yeah, okay. Make a note of your order, because the boxes have a 15-day shelf life. Okay, so if you don't order it now, if it's going to be a Christmas present for somebody, you can order it, obviously, so you get the discount, I should say that, but just put a note saying, please don't dispatch it until it arrives just before Christmas, okay? And then once you've got it, it's fine. It doesn't necessarily need to go in the fridge. It just needs to be kept somewhere reasonably cool. And then it will be absolutely fine to unwrap on Christmas Day. So I hope you enjoy that. So that's the Good Gut Box. Use the code BF2020, okay? And that gets you your deal. So that is that one. And I'm not quite sure how long that offer is up for, but if you're interested, I wouldn't delay. I would go and grab that. Now, I mentioned books, and I've got a couple of books here. I've obviously got my magazine. So the books, there's also, my team have put together a really nice Black Friday special. Usually I'm sat here talking about all sorts of other great British brands, but I thought today, do you know what? It's Black Friday. So, you're being inundated with all sorts of other things. So let me just share some of the things that we're doing here at Liz Earle Wellbeing for Black Friday, for special. So we've got 20% off all the books. So the Good Menopause Guide, sorry, it's not all the books because we don't have all of them in stock. It's the Good Menopause Guide, and it is yearbook 20. And again, they make really lovely presents. You may well have your own copies, but this is a really good time. I sign them all. I've got them here at the farm, so I've been super busy, I have to say, signing all of these because they are just lovely presents. And there's actually in here a really good Christmas pudding recipe, just in case you have yet to clock that one. There we go, the Wellbeing Christmas pudding. But there's so much. They're yearbooks, so they're split into seasons. I'm sure you've seen me talk about them before, spring, summer, autumn, winter. So you just turn to whichever season it is and you can cook, and there's botanical ideas, there's herbal remedies, there's beauty treats, all sorts. Love them. So again, it's a really lovely present because it's something that works for everybody all year round. All year round you can dip in and find something. So you don't need a code for that, I think I'm right in saying. The sale price is online, and again that is until midnight on Monday, so these are Black Friday specials, okay? And the same with the Good Menopause Guide if you want to have a signed copy either for yourself or for somebody who you think might appreciate it, then again you need to be online ordering that before 11:59 bewitching hour on Monday. So I hope those are really enjoyed by everybody. You can of course get the Christmas download if you want. You'll also find that on Liz Earle Wellbeing. Now, this time last week, I did a live in the evening. I did a live Zoom chat with our wine box, and this was really fun. Thank you so much to all those who joined. It was the first ever Zoom event that I've done, and it just went really well. And we were just saying afterwards, wouldn't it be fun to do more? Don't you think? It would be really fun. So that's something that we're definitely going to think about in the new year. And in fact, a lot of people were saying after the wine tasting, wouldn't it be really nice to do like a cheese and wine? Maybe we'll do it on a Friday night so that you've got the whole weekend ahead and you can just be with whoever you're with at home. And hopefully we'll be in a situation where we can invite a few more friends around maybe and just sort of share the love. So the wine box, that's still going, by the way. If you've missed the wine tasting, we did record it. And we popped it up it's got a private link on YouTube. So basically it's for everybody who's got the wine box because it talks through those specific wines. So if you want to get the wine box, if you haven't already, or you missed the wine tasting, then if you order the wine box, you do get the link. It'll get sent to you so that you can watch that on YouTube. And Richard Bampfield, who's one of my oldest friends and a master of wine, he talks through all the different wines. And honestly, there was so much information, even just about general tips for enjoying wine and storing wine, how to keep wine for 3 or 4 days without going off, so you don't have to think that you've got to drink the whole bottle. No, that's just an excuse. There are ways to keep it. So if you've got your magazine, this is the wine offer, okay? So it comes from Vintage Roots, and this is a company that I've known for many years. They are probably the leading retailer of organic and biodynamic wine, and I love them. They're really great guys. So it was just a pleasure to work with them. And we've put in the box 3 bottles of Prosecco, so you've got something fizzy. There are 2 bottles of white. No, there's 2 bottles of each white. So there's 2 types of whites. There's 4 bottles of white wine. There's a bottle of rosé for those who love rosé. There are 3 bottles of different organic and biodynamic red wines, including a biodynamic claret, which is really interesting. And we've got a pudding wine in there. We've got the red wine from Tuscany, the Chianti that comes from Sting's Vineyard. Yes, in such good company. Anyway, it's do take a look. So it's really worth getting. And I know several people who've actually messaged me saying that they bought the box originally, came to the wine tasting, and then have got another one for Christmas because it was designed really with Christmas festivities in mind. Now we've put in 3 bottles of Prosecco. One of my favourites. I don't know. I prefer Prosecco to champagne, actually. I always say I'm a cheap date like that. I just love a glass of Prosecco. Maybe it's because I've got Italian family, So this is the one that is in the box, and it's an organic Prosecco by the biggest and leading organic Prosecco makers in Italy. Really lovely family. I think they've been making Prosecco in Italy. This particular brand, Gilles, have been making it for about 400 years. Okay, so they do know a thing or two about Prosecco. And what they've done is, again, it's a special Black Friday offer. is they are going to pop something extra into the wine box, and this will be for the next week or so. So if you fancy getting it, what they're going to do is they are putting in a little Prosecco Stopper. This is really cool, because obviously if you have normal wine and you don't drink it all, you can just pop the cork back in, keep it in the fridge. That's the best way. That's what Richard said. Keep it cold. You can, it'll last for several days. Red wine will last for 3 or 4 days, unaffected as long as it's cold. So you could put it on the back doorstep if you wanted, or put it in the fridge, just keep it cold. But of course with Prosecco, you've got the fizz and you want to try and keep those bubbles going. So this is a clever little Prosecco Stopper. So it's a little kind of spring lever thing. It comes from Gilles. Do you see it's got the little logo on it? Isn't that great? Anyway, so they've just given us some of these for Black Friday, which is really nice. So those will go into the wine box as a little Black Friday extra. Phew. Now, talking about wine, I'm going to have to finish up here now because I am off to another wine event. And there's going to be a link in the link tree and also on Facebook. If you want to join me, if you're interested in wine, there's been a 2-day wine event going on online, and it's free for anybody to join. You can just hop on and listen to people talking about all different aspects of wine. And I was asked if I would like to join with Richard. So my lovely friend Richard Bampfield, he's also going to be on there today. In fact, I think they've just about started. Talking about sustainability in wine, wine labelling, because wine labelling is often so confused. And, I have a real issue, actually, when it comes to alcohol labelling, because we don't know what we get in the bottle. And one of the things that I've always tried to do is to encourage more transparency on labels, whether it's food labels or drinks, and anything alcoholic doesn't have to have an ingredient label, so you don't quite know what you're getting. So I'm going to be joining that discussion. So it'll be quite interesting to hear what the winemakers have to say about all the different new types of wine. People are talking about clean wine. What does that mean? Natural wine? Well, what does that mean? Because, surely all wine is natural. So there's going to be a discussion going on. So if you want to join me, I'm going to be going literally straight from this. I'll probably be sat in the same space, actually, to join that discussion over on Zoom. So I'm going to head off there just about now. Before I go, there are a couple of comments and questions that I can see. Let me just grab my iPad here and check what everybody is talking about. Okay, this was from Paula on Instagram. Saying, just listen to the podcast. I was particularly interested in the probiotics. I think they were called psychobiotics. Yeah, this was really interesting. If you haven't listened to that podcast yet, psychobiotics, that are really the probiotic gut bugs that help with mood and anxiety. Really fascinating area of new research. So she just says, thank you. You're very welcome, Paula. I'm glad you enjoyed listening. This is from Tracy, also on Instagram. Saying, really interesting content. Since watching your blogs, etc., I'm a convert. Bimuno and kefir are my daily essentials. My IBS has stabilised since taking them and the spasms have gone. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so much, I think, can be really helped with things like kefir. You know me. I mean, I've never knowingly under kefired. I have kefir always in my fridge. And I try and take it every day, and I find it really helpful. And talking, in fact, on that podcast with Miguel, he was talking about the specific beneficial bacteria that you find in kefir, which are really helpful for mood and anxiety. There's one in particular called Lactobacillus reuteri. And I used to take that as a separate supplement, but now I know that I'm just getting it in my kefir. I know that I don't need to bother with a separate supplement. So that's good news, isn't it? Mary on Facebook, what drew you to start your own wellbeing magazine? Wow. Okay, Mary, that is a long answer. Very briefly, in a nutshell, I first worked in magazines. So that was my first job 35 years or so ago. And I have a real love for magazines. And then I started writing books. I love print. So I just love, tangibly being able to pick something up and flick through it, getting off a screen, getting good information with something that's really lovely to look at and to feel and to keep. And I just love my magazine. It's just been such a wonderful community and a wonderful journey. And I'm just thrilled that we are able to keep going during these difficult times. We're not in retail now, so we are subscription only, but we do need a few more subscribers. So I hope that this special offer will encourage people to perhaps give the gift of Liz Earle Wellbeing. But yeah, my magazine it's my baby. I love it, and I have got a really lovely team. And honestly, massive shout out to the Liz Earle Wellbeing team, because they put together such great content, and we've got lovely contributors: Sarah Raven talking about gardening, Hannah Martin on makeup. We've got fantastic Nico with his recipes. I mean, it's a lovely, lovely community. Perhaps one day we'll be able to do an event, and kind of bring it all to life, because there's just so much in there to dip into and share. And I know lots of you keep your magazines, don't you, stashed up. There are back issues, by the way, if you've missed any. There are a few on the Liz Earle Wellbeing website and also on the Warner's website. So if you go to the subscription page for the magazine, then you will find some of the back issues. If you want to, build up your collection, make sure that you've got all the copies. Kathy on Instagram, what shade and brand of foundation do you wear? Oh my goodness, I've recorded that. I've done a whole YouTube makeup tutorial where I list everything, so do please go and take a look, and you'll also find that on Liz Earle Wellbeing. My necklace, this is my rose. This isn't a Black Friday special, actually, it's just an ongoing special, but my earrings as well, the little rose studs. So that is on Liz Earle Jewellery, and it's just 25% off. I don't think you need a code. I think it's just all in there. Do you need a code? No, I don't think so. I think it's just 25% off the whole Wild Rose collection, which I know has been hugely popular. So yeah, thank you for spotting that. Right, I had better go because I'm due at the Future of Wine Forum. So if you want to join me, if you are settled in, fancy a chat, fancy maybe thinking about a glass of something at the weekend, or just learning more about wine, you need to go to the Future Wine Forum. So it's futurewineforum.com, okay? www.futurewineforum.com, and it's free to enter, and you can just click and they will let you in the Zoom conference. So that is it. Hi, Rosie. Oh, enjoy your weekend too. Lovely to have you with me. Thanks, Johan. Thank you, Tilly. Maybe catch you in a moment at the wine event. Otherwise, I'll be back here live on Monday. Oh, I'm so looking forward to Monday. Hopefully, all being well, please, all be well. Lily will be here with me, and we'll be talking about LED lights and near-infrared light and beauty technology. It's fascinating. She's done so much research into this, and I'm really going to be enjoying that chat. Now, she's got a new Instagram channel. It's sellreturn.uk, and you can have a look and see some of the things that she's been up to. She's a real clever cookie, and it's just great. This is kind of, I think skin tech is kind of the future here. So it's going to be very interesting to have a deep dive into all of that. So Cell Return, as in CELL, skin cell, sellreturn.uk. So hopefully, let's please hope and pray that Lily is well and that she can join me here on Monday. So I'll be back live. We're back on Facebook, obviously YouTube, Instagram. But until then, I'll be putting stories up over the weekend as well. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. And stay safe and stay well, sending lots of love. Thank you for all the hearts, sending them back. Bye-bye.